Welcome back, everyone, to the brickitect studio, or should I say, welcome back to the brickitect mock studio. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a follow-up on a recent video that I made where you guys saw me buy a bunch of bricklink orders from some of my patrons, and I said that I was going to attempt to make a Lego action figure, and attempt is exactly what I did. The other morning while one of my videos is exporting, I came over and started playing around with some of the pieces, and what you see in front of you here is what I came up with, and I want to share this with you. This is my first attempt at making a Lego action figure. Please don't judge me too harshly, but I did the best that I could with the time that I had, and I definitely want to do better than this. I feel like the comments coming at me already, and I shouldn't do that. It's so scary to put yourself out there, but I'm going to do it here. This is my first iteration. This is the first attempt that I've made at this, and I was going to keep working on it, but I was like, no, I want to show someone what something can look like on the first try, and not something that you spent hours or days or weeks or months working on. This is my first attempt at making a Lego action figure, mainly just down to the articulation. This is not like a finished figure by any means. It's just how I'd want an action figure to articulate, and I kind of took some inspiration from the G.I. Joes that I had as a kid. In fact, this one probably articulates better than that, but we're going to start at the top here. And in fact, I might even change my camera here a little bit because I think it's going to be a little bit hard for you to see this with the background the way it is. I think that works a little bit better, but let's start at the top here where you have my action figure's neck, and it can move in every direction here. So he can look up, he can look down, he can look side to side. In fact, he can even go full exorcist and look completely behind him. But that was kind of the idea that I wanted for a neck, because you want to be able to kind of pose it up however you want him looking that way or looking up. I just thought that worked really well. And I'm using all of these hinges, these I don't even know what they're called. I just go on to Bricklink and I'm like, that's the part I need. Some of you guys probably know, and if you want to put in the comments, that would be awesome. But I just have that attached on the back like that, and I kind of have that flipped around so the head sits above the neck as opposed to it like being too far back. And I think that kind of works well. So you got pretty much every angle you would want there for a headpiece, and I'm fairly satisfied with that. On to the arms. I think the arms actually turned out really well. Of course, you want the shoulder to have a nice hinge to it, and you want that to be able to move in every direction. In fact, moving out like that, you have an elbow here as well, and then you can move this in every direction too, and you can have his arm come up, and he also has a wrist joint there too. So the wrist is like this, and I'll try to get this to focus for you guys so you can see all of this. But I think you get the general idea. I know the hand isn't really much to look at here, but it does move in every way that you'd want a hand to move. In fact, he can like wave at you, and I just think that works really well. And the best thing you can do, I guess, when you're making things like this, at least in my very limited experience in the 20 minutes or so that I spent doing this, is that you want to try to replicate the human body the best you can. So if you were to have your shoulder, it would be very much like this. So you have that going around. Although I think these would be opposite. Like this ball would actually be a part of your arm bone, but it wouldn't work very well in Lego because you wouldn't be able to have the range of motion that you have here. So that is what I did for the arms, and I'm pretty satisfied with that. You guys will have to let me know what you think about that. It kind of creates a nice element here because you can color this up in any way that you want. My initial idea, and the thing that I bought these for, was to make a Megazord for Clarkman. So you could put some color on here, you could have color here, you could have hands, like official hands, and make color there as well. The only thing you wouldn't be able to color is this right here. There's always going to be that dark gray and light gray that's always kind of peeking out there, but that's kind of okay. I think that's something that you can kind of forgive if you're just trying to make one of these. And again, I haven't really done any kind of research on Lego action figures. I'm sure people have made them and they've made awesome ones, and I should probably look into it, but I wanted to see what I can do, just coming off the top of my brain as somebody that used to play a lot with Lego as a kid and build a lot of things, that kind of got away from it as an adult when he came back into Lego collecting, just building sets and enjoying Lego's creations. I'm just excited to have something of my own here. So this arm obviously is identical to the other side, but if I show you how the arms work, you can see how they move in every direction. I love the way that looks for an action figure. I feel like we got it. He can have like the little cha-cha-cha dance here. I don't know. Getting a little off the rails here, but that's the upper body. His back, really not much to see here. I just have this as filler. You know, you could probably put some pieces on the front here to fill this. Obviously, you'd want some color on there or have some detail. But I did the waist. The waist was probably the trickiest thing for me, and probably the thing I'm least likely to keep on this. I wanted the waist not to break, not ideally, but I wanted the waist to be a situation where you can bend him like kind of sideways, or bend him down so he could be like that, or up, or any which direction. Again, this could be one where you completely twist him around. And I know now that I'm looking at this thing looks like I guess like a prototype for a Terminator or something like that. But I feel like you need to have some type of hinge there joint where that can move around, because you want that just a little bit of flexibility like that, like a normal human would have. But when you sit them like this, it looks very awkward. So I'm trying to figure out maybe a better way that we could work that out right there, because that to me is just like, especially when you go too far, it's super awkward, and when you have them sitting, it's awkward. So I need to work something out with that, and that could come down to working the hips out a little bit better. But that's okay. I can totally work with this. Again, this is just like my first attempt, my prototype at making a Lego action figure. Let's go down to the legs here. The hips were kind of something that I was a little torn on. I kind of ended up doing the same thing you did with the shoulders there, where I have the leg that can come out, and the knee works in the same way. Even has a foot here as well. So the foot, it gets a little awkward because most people can't move their foot that far unless you're some type of ballet dancer. But it kind of works, and you can move that in every direction. The knee can, it can over flex that as well. So you just kind of have to play within reason here if you're trying to put this guy in a pose. But the legs kind of move in the way that you would expect a human to move too. So if I have this guy and I'm trying to set him up, you can pretty much set him up in any pose, and he should be able to stand pretty well, just like that. And I like that. Like if you're trying to get an action pose on a Lego set, something that's traditionally very angular, this I feel like is very organic and very fluid. So then you can move him around however you want, of course. You can move his head, you can straighten him back out. And I just like sitting here and playing with this. Like, this is kind of fun. I've been kind of messing with this, just looking at it for the last day or so since I've had it built, or a couple days now. And I don't know, I just like this guy. Clark is desperate to turn him into the Megazord, so we'll probably end up doing that. But I just wanted to show you what this is in my first attempt. And I guess also to have a record of this, because we may end up tearing this apart and building something completely different, so I can say, well, that's where we came from. And I'd love to be like, that was Mark 1, and I'd love to show you the updated version of it. And I'm curious too, like I'm putting this out to you guys, I should probably have something here for his legs to go out, because that hip's kind of weird. I'm going to put this out to you guys. If you have a way to improve this or make it better, throw it out there. Again, I could probably just start watching YouTube videos, and there's probably people that make amazing ones, but this is mine, and that's why I'm happy with it. So I wanted to show that to you guys. That's the first thing, but I have a little bonus thing that I want to share. We're going to send him off to the side. I want to show you something that I worked on a little bit before that. I started getting Clark started on a Optimus Prime that he wanted to build. So I built like just a really basic thing, and this is what Clarkman came up with for Optimus. And I have to say, this thing is actually pretty cool. I might have to actually move him back a little bit, because the camera is like, oh, what is that? What's that sexy dude in the background there? This is Clark's Optimus. He put these on this morning. I thought that was really neat. But he did a pretty cool job for a 5-year-old. I think I put the legs together for him like that. And I did something with the arms. I think I might have just did the arms and legs. He put everything else together. He actually used some of the parts we got from Bricklink, which are those right there, and all of these. He took these from our Bricklink order, which Optimus Prime's hands are supposed to be blue. So this is total fraud. But he did put the blue on the outside there. He's got the blue legs. I think it's pretty awesome, man. So that was Clarky's little action figure he made. He's a little bit harder to stand up than mine, but he will stand if you have him leaning forward a little bit. I do want to show you something else, though, that Clark made. This one, you're going to get a kick out of this. I don't even know where to start with this one, but this is another little thing that Clark made. I don't know what he calls this. He's actually finishing up a class right now, so we might have to have him come down and... Uh-oh, don't tell him I broke this. We might have him come down and comment on this one. But he just kind of went crazy with all of the ball joints and things. Is that what we're calling these, ball joints? That's to be called in the action figure world. He just went crazy. These are some of the parts from John when we get the Bricklink order. In fact, there's still a whole bunch of parts left over here. They're kind of in a pile. Clark built this thing that he's working on as well. I don't know what that is, some type of command center maybe, but this thing is just nutty. And that's not all, my friends. He built this too. Just kind of going crazy. It's fun seeing, look at these things. It's fun seeing what kids come up with, because kids they're unfiltered creativity. You don't have, like me when I started this video, you're not worried about what the world's going to say about your janky action figure that you made while you're exporting a video. You're not worried about the mean comments you're going to get. You're just like, you know what? I'm going to make something really cool and really wild. And maybe we should all try to be like this. I know this turned into like a Missing Pieces episode, but maybe we should all try to be like a 5-year-old with our creations and be like, hey man, I don't care if this makes any sense. I'm going to make what feels right. And I guess that's what this is. I guess what that is. I guess that's what that is. We built something else this morning too. Clarky's working on this set. This is a Ninjago set for all you Ninjago detectors out there. This is 70614. And we built this. This is actually really cool. It kind of reminds me of what we're working on here a little bit earlier. This thing is really cool. It looks like a crab almost. It's got an arm that opens up here, and this side as well, and then the feet. And speak of the devil, Clarkman's actually coming down right now. Hey, I just showed off some of your stuff, dude. Can you explain what these things are?
This was my mech. This is the flying bird transformer.
The flying bird transformer?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure what it was.
It transforms into a bird.
I like that, dude. What's this one here? Did we figure out what these are?
Oh, that's the mech one. The gigantic, careful mech.
Okay.
Where you have to be delicate.
Yeah, I kind of broke them in half a little bit, but I fixed them, though. You weren't supposed to know that.
I knocked him down once.
Oh, Clarky was trying to put this guy together during our Patreon call, and he got real upset because it wasn't working for him. But, oh man. Fragile. Must be Italian.
Fragile.
It's pretty cool, though. How was your class, buddy?
Oh, good. I said something to my teacher. I said, I hope you have a glorious day. And she's like, thanks, Clark.
You've been hanging out with your dad too much. I showed him this thing that you built this morning and the set you're working on too. And then I'm sure, I don't know what the comments are going to be, but they're going to think your Optimus is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, that's my Optimus. He turns into a truck.
They look like a good team, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Are we giving up on this thing coming together?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think it's kind of cool as two separate pieces. This looks like something from the future that would...
I'm going to transform them, so...
Okay. Well, we got a video of them, so you have record of it. There you go, guys. That's Clark's creation. And maybe the last you see of it, because he's tearing it apart. But this isn't the last you'll see of my action figure. He's going to go through some new versions, and we'll try to make them better and more improved. I'll be looking through the comments to see what tips you guys have for such things. I'm sure somebody out there is like, dude, I know a perfect way to make that waist better. I know a way to make the hips better, the arms. I mean, anything and everything would be helpful. I have a lot of pieces at my disposal. I was just trying to use what we had in the Bricklink orders, and it just became a brickitect video, so I can't think of a better way to end it. I hope you guys have a glorious rest of your day. We'll be back with you with an update on this. I've got a haul to do, which you'll probably see tomorrow at this point, I guess. And, oh, one last thing that I built. Built this on Friday night in the Patreon-only stream, and he's got hinges there as well. I'm seeing these all over the place.
The Year of the Rat.
The Year of the Rat. That is set number 40355. 162 pieces sent to us by Builders310 from Patreon. It's pretty cool, man. And how does he fit in with the group? You think? You think he could work with us here? Yeah. I think we got it. Mm-hmm. That's epic. Did he just kill my guy? He's on a rampage. He's on a rat page. He's on a rat page. Rip.
Rip. Megazord.